Como? 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 Nani? Nandate? Como? Como sa? Como is this brand for the oat flaker, which is a specialized device, and all it does is roll your oats or any other grain that you would like to roll. And today what we're going to be doing is a little product review. Are you in the market for a rolled oat maker, or have you potentially found and have been looking at researching this particular Como Flockman? If so, you're in luck, because today I'm going to be doing a little product review telling you all about it and my experiences using it. So stay tuned. Konbanwa, Pat Tokuyama here. I'm the creator of the Japanese Cooking Club, where I help people learn how to make plant-based Japanese food. Today, what we're going to be doing is a little product review for this Flockman. It's a Como Flockman, and I was just messing around at the beginning. Como in Spanish means what, if you know some Spanish, and it also means nothing. It also, I guess it's a name, like this one, Como. And they make this brand they have a bunch of products, but this is the one that I chose to buy specifically so I can roll my own oats. And I eat a lot of oatmeal because it's healthy and it's also nutritious. It's got a lot of fiber, it's got a lot of vitamins, and it's a good way to fill up for breakfast, thanks to the protein as well, so it'll keep you full. That's one of the reasons why I bought it, because I was tired of using store-bought oatmeal. And I guess my awakening was a few years ago when I actually bought Anson Mills oatmeal, which was freaking amazing. If you've never had really good oatmeal before, I highly recommend that you start with Anson Mills oatmeal. I forgot what it's called exactly, but it tastes really good because they flake it, and then plus they're using some sort of, I think it's an heirloom grain, so it's not a commercial grain, and it tastes amazing. It was life-changing, and that's what ultimately led me to purchase this thing so that I can do my own oats at home, and this tastes just as good in a different way. So now that you know the backstory for how I got into oats and oatmeal and why I ended up buying this thing, one, you guys know that I'm a foodie and I appreciate really good food, and especially if it tastes good and it's healthy. So oatmeal is what I usually eat for breakfast at least once or twice a week. Sometimes I will do it on the stove, and sometimes I'll use my slow cooker and do it overnight. And in fact, I just flaked some right now. So these are freshly flaked oats, so they look very different. You can adjust the coarseness or the thickness depending on how thick or thin you want your oats. If you're going to be using it for oatmeal, if you want them to cook quicker, obviously if you flake them thinner, they're going to cook quicker. If you're going to be using it for granola, then maybe you might want a thicker oat for a little bit more texture, a little bit more bite. But the adjustments can be made inside this thing. So there's a little knob here where you can adjust the fineness or the thickness. And that's pretty much it. As far as using the device, it's pretty straightforward. All you gotta do is pour in your whole oat groats, your grains in here. You can use any type of whole grain. You wanna stay away from anything that's oily though, because this is meant for dry things. Whole oats, you can use wheat berries as well. And all you gotta do is turn on the little switch right here. So it's very simple to use. Oh, you gotta plug it in too. But once you have that done, it only takes a few minutes, depending on how much you're making, or a few seconds if you're not making that much, to get a nice set or a nice batch of freshly rolled oats. So in terms of what you get when you buy the Flockman, mine basically just came with this device. The cable is attached, and this bowl, and the instruction manual as well, which I don't have, but you don't need it, because all you're gonna do is flip on the switch and drop in the oats, and you'll get some rolled oats or rolled grains if that's what you're going for. So some of the pros and cons, I just have a few of them since this is a very simple device. There's not too much. One of the pros that I would say is that it's very easy to use. All you gotta do is open the lid and drop in your oats, and then turn on the switch, and then this does all the work for you. So that's the first pro. The second pro is that it's very well made. It seems very heavy, so the motor is somewhat strong. It does a good job rolling the oats. I was pretty surprised at not only how good that they tasted, but the texture and also the aroma. So you're gonna be in for a treat if you like your oats Chances are, if you're used to eating store-bought oats, you're gonna love the way that these oats turn out. So the second pro is that you can roll your oats on demand. You don't necessarily have to be using your hand. You can, use your hand for other stuff. So you can multitask. So that's the good thing about this, is that it's electric as compared to the cheaper manual versions, which you can also consider if you don't mind the manual work. But chances are you're not going to be as inclined to make rolled oats when you have to do that much work. So keep that in mind as well. The third thing is that you can adjust the oats to your liking. Like I showed you, there's a thick setting, a thicker setting that you can adjust to, and also a thinner setting, which you can also adjust to. And then the fourth thing is that it comes with a 12-year warranty. Like, that's a super long warranty. Who gives 12 years of warranty these days? Not very many people. So if something does go wrong, that's one of the good things about this company, is that they offer 12 years warranty in case something goes wrong. So some of the cons, you may or may not agree with me on this, but I think this is somewhat of an odd design. It's a sort of like a quarter of a circle design. I don't know how you describe that shape. I would have preferred something that's more upright, kind of like a coffee grinder or a coffee machine, like a traditional one. I think it takes up a little bit more space than it needs to as a result of that. So in my mind, that's one of the cons. And a second con is that there isn't really a chute. So if you look at the bottom here, there's no chute. So if you're not using a wide enough bowl, and that includes this one that came with the Como, it's gonna spill on the sides because there's nothing that's directing the oats to go into the bowl. They're just flying out all over the place. So you're gonna wanna use a wider bowl like this one, and it'll do a better job, or at least maybe something that's higher up. That could also work, so that you don't make a mess of oats all over the place. So that's another con. A third thing is that this is a very specialized device. So if you're not gonna be rolling your oats or other grains like wheat berries, this might not be for you, because that's pretty much all that it does. And then a fourth con, which may or may not be a con for you, but for me, I would have preferred a darker wood, like a walnut or a cherry wood, because as you can see, my cabinets are all dark, and I try to get dark things to go with my kitchen when I can. And I guess I don't really have any good examples, but I would have preferred that this was a dark wood, because that's just what I like to look at, dark wood. I don't know about you, but dark wood is what I prefer. So some tips that I have for you, if you are into oatmeal for breakfast or for lunch or for dinner or for dessert or for any time of day, and you enjoy your food, you want to be healthier by eating more nutritious, more fresh food. Some tips for you is, one, to get an oat flaker. Stop buying store-bought oats, and you'll notice right away that it's going to taste better. It's also healthier because the nutrients are still there. They haven't oxidized and deteriorated because they've been sitting on a shelf, or they've been steamed to help preserve the oats from going rancid, which is what happens. That's the way that store-bought oats are processed, so that they can be shelf stable. That's why most people probably don't like oatmeal, is because they're used to eating the oatmeal that's been sitting on the shelf forever and has like zero flavor because it's been steamed and processed, and that's why they have to add a lot of sugar or other flavorings in there to make it taste better, and it still doesn't taste that good because all you're tasting is that sweetness as opposed to the natural flavor of the oats. Second tip I have for you is to, after rolling, is to use your oats immediately, because as soon as they're rolled, the surface area has increased significantly. The grains are no longer intact, so they're going to start to oxidize and deteriorate. So you want to use this right away. So I usually make some oatmeal right away, or I usually make some granola. Those are the two most common things that I use my oats for. You can also, if you want to make oat waffles or oat pancakes, any kind of, I guess, baked good with your oat flour, that's another alternative that you can try, or another option that you can try, is to turn your rolled oats into oat flour and use it for baking or anything else like pancakes and waffles. Those two things are quite delicious, by the way. If you've never tried using oat flour for waffles and pancakes, it's very good. The next tip, number 4, is after you roll your oats, is to try toasting them on the stove, specifically for oatmeal. You'll notice that that helps to develop a more nutty, earthy flavor as compared to just using these straight away and just dumping some water on them. So if you've never toasted your oats before, your freshly rolled oats, you might want to give that a try. Just use a large skillet and put it on medium-low heat, and then stir it occasionally until it gets nice and aromatic. And then after that point, you can transfer it into a pot and then put some water and then make your oatmeal. So it's another great way to change things up a bit if you're used to just using straight oatmeal or rolled oats. And then the last tip for you guys is to get organic if you can, which would also mean that it's non-GMO. But if you can't get organic, then and try to get non-GMO so that you aren't eating any genetically modified grains. So that's one of the benefits of doing your own grains at home, your own rolled oats, is that you can choose the source of the grain, and chances are you're probably interested in using something that's organic because it's healthier for you, it's better for you. So those were a few of my tips, a few of my pros and cons. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions or comments below, if I missed anything, please let me know. And if there's another product that you were considering that I should have considered as well, let me know as well. I'd be curious to see what you guys think. So question of the day, do you think that after watching this video, you'd be more interested in trying freshly rolled oats in your oatmeal? Maybe if you don't like oatmeal today, maybe this will change your mind because of the flavor, the texture, and the aroma, like I mentioned, is unlike anything that you can get at the store. And a reminder, like I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, if you don't want to get one of these just yet, definitely try Anson Mills oatmeal, the rolled oats there, and give that a try and see what you might have been missing all your life if you have been eating oatmeal for a long time, like me. I was missing out a lot. So, and then I guess one other tip that I almost forgot is to try different brands, because different brands of oats actually taste slightly different. So I've used whole oats from Whole Foods, as well as Sprouts, which is like a farmer's market here in Southern California, and then also from online sources, and they all taste slightly different, probably because they're coming from different farms, and you might want to also experiment with that too to see what you like best. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions or comments below. Subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this one, and also specific to plant-based Japanese cooking. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today, so thanks for watching. Kyotsuke, take care. Bye-bye. Flockman. I don't know why they call it the Flockman. Flock. Maybe is that a different way of saying flake? Flake man? Because it's an oat flaker. I guess I'll never know unless I ask, or unless somebody tells me.